So I normally like beginning by greasing the pan that I'm going to use. And to grease it, I take margarine or butter. Today I'm using Prestige margarine. I apply around the pan and the edges, and then I'll spread some the flour I'll be using for baking. The alternative to this step is to use a parchment paper, which I skipped for today and went for this. So this is what you do. Don't pour in a lot of flour so that it doesn't stick to the pan and it becomes sticky on the cake once it is ready. So I was just shaking it around there. Sorry that the angle of the camera didn't capture that, but you try to just shake around, and then shake off the excess, and then you pour it out. So at this point now, I want to prepare my homemade buttermilk. This is a good way of doing this, where you take vinegar and milk. Then we go ahead to prepare the castor sugar. Castor sugar, by the way, is just powdered sugar. And instead of buying, make yours at home, and it gives the cake a very soft outcome. So you're going to just put that in the grinder of the blender. Then we grind it out, and we will have our castor sugar. There's a YouTuber I watched. Let me see if I can get her name, where she was grinding using the table and the rolling pin, and I found that very creative. So this is good. Just a few runs, then I shake it so that it can be all uniform. And I tell you, this is one of the hacks to making your cake very soft. So we move on to mix the dry ingredients. And here, the other thing you should learn to do when baking is to sieve out your flour. Sieve out. Please don't just fetch and put in the mixing. Sieve out, because at this stage you're creating air into the dough, or rather into the flour, so that when it comes into the dough it has air, and air helps the cake to puff up. So I use self-raising flour. So at this point I added a teaspoon of baking soda, because when I introduced the vinegar, it will make the milk acidic, and when you have milk that is acidic, you need to have baking soda, not just baking powder. So that's done. So we now create the base for the wet ingredients, whereby I put the castor sugar, and because it is already powdered, it is very easy to mix as opposed to just the granulated sugar. So I wanted to mesh out a cup of that margarine, but I saw it will stick. But for the sake of measuring, that is a cup. You just fill in margarine there, and that will be enough. So I already know how that cup looks when full, so that's what I scooped out. And then now here I wanted to just check, is it ready? It's almost ready. You will just so we proceed to just blending this out, or is it whisking? And I like using this the machine because it is very easy. But if you don't have this, a whisk is good enough, but make sure that your whisk is strong. At the moment I don't have strong whisks in the house, but I should be planning to look for one. So you just mix it slightly before you start the whisking process, because otherwise it will fly all over your face. So this is the process where we used to cream the sugar and the butter, and you should aim for attaining that white line. At the end of the day, the butter should be a bit white than yellow from where you started. That's how you know that it's well combined. We are going to be adding the eggs. It is one at a time. When I began baking, I didn't know what this means. So I was just putting these eggs together, and I can tell you the outcome was different. So no shortcuts, please put in one by one and continue to whisk until it disappears. Then that's when you add the next one. And also we add one by one because you can see I'm not adding directly, because sometimes eggs are bad and you don't want to spoil all these ingredients by adding in a bad egg. So that's a way of verifying if the egg is okay. So by the way, what's the price of your eggs in your place? Because I think these guys in my place are conning me. Yeah, it's been quite a race. So let's blend this in so that we can be able to move on to the next stage. Keep scraping the sides because this machine needs help. It is semi-manual, but it is doing a good job. So let's keep doing this. At this point, add vanilla. It is 1 tablespoon. Just believe me. If measure yours if you have to, but just believe me that it is 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Vanilla gives you such a nice taste and a cake you'd want to use. And by the way, this is the base of most cakes that you will ever have.
Everyone needs a shoulder to cry on. Everyone needs a helping hand. Everyone needs someone to rely on. Yes, everyone needs a friend. So let's come together, celebrate each other, stand united as one. We lift our hands up and pray, lay all our love before Him with all of our faith. He is the change within us, there is a light. Let Him lead the way, lift our hands up and pray today. Oh, pray. Everyone needs somebody to lean on. Everyone needs someone who cares. If we come together as one, help each other get stronger, we are bound in the name of the Lord. So let's come together, celebrate each other, stand united as one. We lift our hands up and pray, lay all our love before Him with all of our faith. He is the change within us, there is a light. Let Him lead the way, lift our hands up and pray today. Oh, pray. Oh, pray. Oh, pray. Oh, pray. So let's come together. Yeah, let's come together. We lift our hands up and pray, lay all our love before Him with all of our faith. He is the change within us, there is a light. Let Him lead the way, lift our hands up and pray today. Oh, pray. Oh.
So while preheating the oven, I normally use this manual thermometer. When I put it inside there, I'm able to tell when the oven heats to the right temperature. I wanted this to heat to 180 degrees Celsius, and that's what happened. So I am ready to remove it, and then I put in the butter and the cake begins to cook. So you put in that for about 30 to 45 minutes, and I'll check in after the... For a final tip, where you want to attain a well browned crust and yet the cake is well done inside, use this tip where you place the cover of a sufuria or an aluminium paper foil, and that's how you want to have the cake, very brown on the outside, and yet when you put in a fork, it should be very well done, no moisture inside. The fork should come out clean, and this is what you want to achieve. Please try this cake and let me know the outcome. Remember to subscribe to my channel, and thank you for all my returning subscribers. See you in our next video.